Now we got to go to court. Cool, we'll go to court because we can't figure it out. He won't show up to mediation. I'm stuck paying for that. Bet. Cool, we got to go to court. My biggest mistake, but something that I don't regret, was giving him the amount of grace that I gave him, because it only backfired on me. It only backfired on me because I gave a man grace who didn't give it back.
She stayed silent for months, trying to protect her family's privacy. But when the hateful messages and threats grew impossible to handle, she spoke up, revealing a storm of leaks and betrayal. This is the story of Teyana Taylor and Iman Shumpert, one-time partners in love who ended their marriage peacefully, only to have their split turn into a media circus. From rumored divorce payouts to cutting off utilities, the drama spiraled out of control, and both sides found themselves in the spotlight. For a long time, Teyana believed in keeping things private. She and Iman shared 2 daughters, and neither wanted an ugly fight in the public eye. But once the tabloids exploded with claims that Teyana took Iman for millions, she realized she could no longer stay silent. If she did, the false rumors will keep growing, hurting her reputation and endangering her children's peace. What really happened behind the scenes of this sealed divorce? Who fed the blog stories of multi-million-dollar settlements, fancy cars, and Teyana's supposed greed? And why did Teyana finally decide she had to set the record straight in a fiery Instagram live? Let's rewind to where everything seemed calm, right before it all came crashing down. Back in July 2024, Teyana Taylor and Iman Shumpert ended their marriage. It wasn't sudden. They had faced ups and downs but tried to handle their split with maturity. Their main goal was to remain civil for Junie and Rue, their 2 young daughters. A year earlier, Teyana posted on social media that nobody had cheated and there was no huge scandal. They had simply grown apart. During this post-split period, both stayed busy. Teyana poured her energy into music, film, and fashion. Iman explored other ventures after his MBA career. Despite leading separate lives, they texted about parenting and avoided public drama. Some fans even believed they might work things out, given how polite they still seemed. Beneath the surface, Teyana sensed little ripples of unease. Sometimes, she caught wind of random rumors, but nothing proved serious. She brushed them off, trusting that sealed divorce papers would keep their personal matters out of sight. Then came the Oscars in March 2025, and everything changed. The night should have been a milestone for Teyana's future, but it stirred up a past she was trying to leave behind. On March 12, 2025, Teyana appeared at the Oscars with actor Aaron Pierre. The two posed for photos, showing a relaxed chemistry that set social media ablaze. People speculated about a possible romance. Teyana looked radiant, dressed in a bold black and white gown. Her confidence seemed to reflect the new life she was building away from old burdens. Only days after her triumphant red carpet moment, gossip sites jumped on shocking divorce revelations. Articles claimed Teyana walked away from her marriage with 4 houses worth $10 million, plus a pricey Maybach and a mountain of cash. These stories painted her as a greedy ex, leaving Iman with nothing. Teyana felt blindsided. She knew the sealed divorce meant no one should have those details. Worse, the rumors didn't match reality. People on social media threw insults at her. She received unsettling threats, some even aimed at her kids. She tried to remain calm, recalling how she and Iman had promised not to trash each other in public. But this was more than she could handle. Someone was spreading false reports, and she needed to find out who. Teyana wondered who had both motive and opportunity to twist her private affairs into such hurtful headlines. Suddenly, Teyana became the internet's villain. Strangers accused her of betrayal. Some said she was fame-hungry, while others claimed she was milking Iman's finances. Every new blog post seemed more outrageous than the last. Whenever she opened her phone, another wave of angry comments described her as heartless and cunning. She and her lawyers searched for how private divorce documents might have been leaked, but something else stood out. These blog stories often showed up first on one particular site, then spread like wildfire. That site always spun the same angle, Teyana as the bad guy. It made her suspect that someone tied to Iman might be using the media to control the narrative. Not wanting to believe he was involved, Teyana reached out to Iman, letting him know how scared she felt about the threats. She hoped for reassurance. Instead, he seemed distant, insisting he'd stay silent to protect her. That only raised the question, why wasn't he actively defending her if these stories were false? Her confusion turned to suspicion. Teyana's patience started wearing thin. Before long, she realized she couldn't keep handling this crisis in private. While Teyana tried to keep her composure, she discovered texts that hinted Iman's circle might be fueling the negative narrative. One source told her Iman's team was paying specific blogs to post stories that made her look greedy. At first, Teyana didn't want to believe it. She recalled how she had protected Iman's image when he turned off their utilities, never once calling him out by name. Hoping for a denial, she confronted him. Instead, he claimed he thought she was behind the leaks. That made no sense to Teyana. Why would she release false information that hurt her own image? His evasive answers and refusal to publicly vouch for her innocence only deepened her doubts. Every time she remembered defending him against rumors, her anger grew. She had stayed quiet during stressful times to shield their children from ugly gossip. She had covered up mistakes he made, hoping to keep the peace. Yet now, he seemed happy to let her be the scapegoat for a twisted divorce saga. Feeling betrayed, Teyana realized a simple phone call wouldn't solve this. She had to speak publicly, no matter the risk.
I put money into the okay, I just don't want people in my business. I'm forced to have to tell my business because him and his people, and maybe it's not him, maybe it's his lawyers, but y'all all still together. I don't play that. You have the control to tell your lawyers what to do. It's awfully strange how every single time something come out about me, it come out on the same blog. It starts off little, and then it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. I have the proof that you're paying people to post this stuff. Like, come on, like this is just, it's a lot. It's a lot, and I'm done with it. So I'm just letting y'all know now, I'm no longer addressing this. If anything else come out around the time that I have movies, sneakers, videos, whatever I got coming out, you know exactly what's going on. You know exactly what's going on.
On March 19th, Teyana fired up Instagram Live, a move she rarely used for serious matters. She appeared in a plain hoodie, hair pulled back, looking both tired and determined. Her voice trembled at times, but she spoke with a steady focus. She explained that the divorce details were sealed, so none of the eye-popping numbers or settlement rumors should be floating around. Yet they were, and they always seemed to spin her as the villain. Teyana told viewers how disturbing it felt to receive direct threats over things she never did. She mentioned glimpses of evidence, screenshots and text messages that hinted someone in Iman's camp was guiding gossip sites, encouraging them to frame her as a money-hungry ex. She waved her phone around, saying she had proof, but chose not to show it publicly just yet. She wanted people to understand she wasn't making wild claims out of nowhere. Emotions ran high in the live comments. Many fans cheered her on, praising her bravery for coming forward despite the potential backlash. Others demanded to see the receipts right there on screen, calling her claims empty, without hard evidence. Still, Teyana insisted she had no desire to make this any uglier than it already was. She only wanted the threats to stop and the lies to end. She even reminded everyone of the times she'd shielded Iman from public blame, even when he'd left her in tough situations. By the time she wrapped up the live, around 40 minutes later, thousands of viewers had tuned in. Social media erupted with fresh debates. Some argued she was being dramatic, while others believed her wholeheartedly. In truth, the video marked a turning point. Teyana was no longer passive or quiet. She'd laid down her side of the story, letting Iman know she wasn't afraid to call him out if he was indeed behind the smear campaign. The ball was now in his court. With the story out in the open, Teyana took it a step further, seeking legal action to back up her words. Only a day after her emotional Instagram live, Teyana filed legal documents in Georgia. She claimed Iman had violated their divorce's gag order by allowing personal details to leak. Though she didn't ask for jail time, she requested a small financial penalty, around $1,000 plus legal fees. Her real aim was responsibility. If he was involved in spreading falsehoods, she wanted formal proof that he crossed the line. Iman's lawyer quickly fired back, denying that he had leaked anything. They claimed he was following the gag order to the letter. In fact, they implied Teyana's new rumored romance, sparked by her Oscars appearance with Aaron Pierre, was the real reason she was lashing out. The statement ended abruptly, making it clear Iman had no plans to elaborate further. Opinions online were split. Some believed Teyana's raw emotions and consistency in her story. Others suspected she was manipulating public sympathy. Teyana, however, kept her focus. Her children's well-being mattered most. She hoped a legal process would uncover any evidence tying Iman to the leaked stories. If none existed, at least she had done her part to protect herself and her kids. As the legal filings drew attention, Teyana remembered that real life, music, acting, parenting, still continued outside this drama. By March 20th, online chatter peaked. Trolls attacked Teyana, calling her a liar, while supporters praised her for speaking out. Some demanded she drop all of her receipts, while others felt she'd already said enough. Old accusations resurfaced, accusing her of trying to bleed Iman dry. She found it exhausting, but refused to let it derail her. To maintain her sanity, Teyana turned her attention back to her projects. Rumors spread that she was in talks for a Netflix role, and there was buzz about a possible music collaboration with Will Smith. Those prospects motivated her to keep pushing forward, no matter how loud the chatter got. She also kept life steady for her daughters. Normal breakfasts, playful afternoons, and bedtime stories. They deserved to be kids, not dragged into adult drama. Some nights, she confided in close friends or vented in therapy, acknowledging that betrayal can hurt more than strangers ever see. Even so, she reminded herself that inner peace couldn't come from external validation. Whether Iman was behind the leaks or not, she had to stay grounded for her daughters. After her Instagram live, many wondered if Teyana had more to reveal, or if this was a final chapter in their public feud. In what seemed like her last major public statement, Teyana declared, "I've got my proof. I've got my peace." She didn't break down. She remained calm, then logged off. No talk show tour, no massive document dump. She let the courts handle the legal side, trusting that time would bring clarity. Iman, for his part, stayed mostly silent aside from brief denials through his lawyer. Internet rumors swirled, with some predicting Teyana would come back swinging with all her screenshots. Others argued she was done fighting. Regardless, their story now stood as a cautionary tale about how even a sealed divorce can spiral out of control if someone decides to bend the truth for publicity. Teyana is now looking ahead. New music, fresh acting roles, and most of all, protecting her daughter's sense of security. She's made it clear that she won't let bitterness define her. If the court finds no proof that Iman fed the blogs, so be it. At least she took a stand, refusing to watch false narratives go unchecked. Iman might share his side someday, or continues keeping quiet, letting the headlines fade as celebrity drama often does. But Teyana's experience has left an imprint. You can be private, but when cornered by lies, you have the right to fight back. She proves she won't be painted as a monster without responding. Next time you see a flashy headline, consider who might benefit from spinning the facts. Teyana's journey shows that a sealed court document doesn't always stay sealed, and sometimes you need to speak up before the world decides who you are. We leave the story here for now. Teyana stands by her words, holding on to her evidence and her sense of peace. Iman stands by his denials. The courts may settle it, or the public could move on to the next big scandal. Either way, Teyana's message shines through. When pushed too far, standing firm in your truth is the only way to regain control.